Welcome, it's me Özlem, Marketing and Export Manager of Cadence. In this video, we are going to talk about the effect paints range of Cadence. The first product of the effect paint range is Vintage Legend Antique Gesso. It's a water-based product and it is non-toxic. It is certified according to Euro 171 norms and CE norms, which you can use safely with the family and with the kids. Also, the quality of the products are confirmed according to international rewards. Vintage Legend is a gesso paint with different sizes particles inside and colors to create crush, antique or vintage effect on all hard surfaces. When we are working with the Vintage Legend, the first coat should be the acrylic paint. Normally, most of the time, we are recommending the very chalky home decor paint as the first coat. Very chalky home decor paint can be applied to all surfaces directly without sanding or primer. If you are working on the metal or glass surfaces, then you have to prefer the hybrid multi-surface. When the first coat is totally dry, then we are applying very vintage home decor wax or the liquid wax to the surface. In the later stages, the wax will help us to scrap the Vintage Legend from the surface. According to your project, if you want, you can put the wax all over the surface or partially where you want to put the Vintage Legend over. Vintage Legend is a particled product, therefore you have to stir it very well before the usage. According to the effect you want to use, you can apply it as a thick or thin layer. Of course, the result, the final look, will be totally different. When we apply the Vintage Legend as a thick coat, we have to wait minimum 12 hours for total drying, because inside of the paint can be still wet. Before we start to scrub, the inside should be totally dry. When all the coats are totally dry, the final step is the most important one. By using the metal spatula, you can create many different effects. When you are doing the thick layers, when you dig it out, you will see this result. Or you can dig it very slowly and you can create smaller holes. For example, you can have these bigger things like this, or in the places where you apply the Vintage Legend in an excess amount, then you can show it in small details as well. As a result, what is good with the Vintage Legend, you can see three different colors on one project. You can see the bottom color, you can see the Vintage Legend color itself, and the last layer on the top. As you can see, it totally looks like a crash, antique and vintage product. When you scrub the coats of the Vintage Legend and when you finalize your project, by using the Cadence liquid waxes, you can create different shades with transparent and with other colorful liquid waxes. It will protect your project and also will create more shades. Vintage Legend has one size of packaging, which is 150 ml. We are not recommending any tinning for the Vintage Legend. Inside of the bottle there is an aluminium foil that covers the product, which gives it to the long shelf life. Vintage Legend has 13 color options, as you can see here. It's a very good choice for the craft and art projects. If you want to create something with a vintage look, then the Vintage Legend is the right product for you. Now, let's pay attention to the application.